this might be my favorite spot to record so far. I like it. Welcome to Self Talk Body Soul. I am Maria, and on this channel we talk about all things mental health, spirituality, personal development and mindset growth, or growth mindset. I don't know which one is the right one. This is the third video of the video series that I called Scared of Being Yourself, or the problem of self-expression. In the last two videos we discussed how this problem comes about, where it stems from, and what it looks like in your life, how it manifests itself in this life. And also in the second part we then talked about what we can do to eradicate this problem and start being ourselves, and the benefits it can have on our life to be ourselves, if it's not obvious enough anyway. Today, in this third part of this video series, I want to talk about how you can find what it is that you like, or who it is that you are, because an unfortunate side effect, especially if you have struggled with self-expression from your childhood, the problem can actually be that you don't know who you are. Even though you may recognize that you have this issue of self-expression and you understand the benefits of being yourself rather than pretending to be someone else, you may actually be, your ego, your mind can be really scared to start becoming yourself, because your mind doesn't know who it is that you are. So if we're not going to be this pretend self, who are we going to be? So it creates this problem in the mind of we can't be ourselves because we don't know who we are. And because we don't know something, it is a new territory, and we don't know what is there, and hence is dangerous. And so we can actually stop ourselves from improving and becoming ourselves. And so in this video I will give some tips on how you can start this journey of finding who you are, or rather not even find, because to find something means that we've lost something. It's not really lost, it's always inside of you. It's just that you kind of forgotten about these parts of yourselves, and you can find these parts of yourselves by tuning in to the signs and symptoms, as I call them, of who you are, and they are always within you. And yes, we're going to explore basically the techniques of how to recognize these in you, and these in turn will show you where to go in life, which direction to take in life. There are different methods that you can practically implement to discover what it is that you like and what it is that you don't like. But what these steps do, and these methods, they do, is they engage your conscious brain, meaning they engage your logical brain. They engage the part of the brain that already kind of knows you. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to find the parts of your, or rediscover the parts of you that your conscious brain isn't aware of. And so as much as I will give you the methods to use your logical brain to figure out what you like and what you don't like, etc., but I will also give you an exercise that will help you tune in to the part of you that is aware of your actual inner being. So it's a technique to kind of engage your subconscious and your intuition, and it's a technique that will help you hear and become aware of this intuitive part of you, and that will help you really, and it will be your guidance in life, whatever you do, whether you're making decisions in life, or again, you try and express yourself in a better way. It's this part of you that you can call it an inner child, or your soul, or your higher self, or God, or your subconscious, whatever name you want to put to it. But it's the part of you that knows better than your logical brain, basically. And we unfortunately don't tend to trust this part of us. But I highly recommend learning to trust it, because it knows better than you do, as I already said. and you can have such a much easier life if you tune into this inner voice. Again, everyone has it. We're just completely tuned out of it because we've got this really anxious 100-mile-per-hour brain, the logical brain, that we never give a chance to rest. It just drowns out all the internal, that quiet voice. And so yeah, this exercise will really help you tune into that quiet voice again and give a break to your logical mind. The few methods that you can use to logically get to, you know, what it is that you like, what it is that you don't like. Number one, write lists of what your desires, dreams, and perfect life would be like if you knew you had a 100% success chance rate and full acceptance from the people around you. You need to basically write everything that you want in your life. Or you would want in your life if you knew that you would 100, like if someone, I don't know, your future self would have come to you and said, you are definitely going to succeed at this, and all the people around you will accept you. Because the reason why we often don't do the things that we like is because we fear that we're going to be unaccepted. Sorry, we're not going to be accepted by the people around us. And so if your future self came to you and they said, you will succeed at this thing and you'll be accepted for it, what is this thing that you would like to do? So that's the first way I would approach this. It is a very basic technique, but it can already give you some insights as to what it is that you actually like in your life. Number two, take some time to sit alone and imagine that every single person that you know in your life right now is not around you anymore. It doesn't have to be morbid. It just can be, imagine that you moved to a different country and you lost, I don't know, all contacts with everyone you know right now. Now ask yourself, if money wasn't an issue, what it is that you would do now? So it's very similar to the first technique. It's just that in the first technique, you're talking about 100% success chance, success rate, and everyone around you accepts you. Here we're saying everyone around you doesn't exist anymore, so don't care for their opinion because they're not around to give you their opinion. And the second most common issue for people is, oh, I don't have the money to do the thing that I want to do. So imagine that the money isn't an issue, what it is that you want to do. This list isn't for you, it's not going to be like a plan for you now. So don't feel like, well, yeah, money is the issue, so why should I pretend like it's not an issue? That's not the point. All you want to do right now is really just understand what it is that you're actually drawn towards, what it is that you like. All these limitations that you put in yourself, like I don't have enough money, I don't have enough time, these are all simply limitations that you can overcome because every successful person had these same issues and they've overcome those. So there are ways. So right now, all you want to focus on is what it is that I just like. It doesn't matter what limits there are in the world, what it is that I actually like. That's all we want to find out right now. And the other two methods which you can use logically to get logically to an answer. One of them is, what topic is it that you could read 1,000 books on and you wouldn't get bored of reading? So that one really helped me understand what it is that I like, because if you can read 1,000 books on that topic and you won't get bored, it means that you really like it. And if you really like it to that extent, that means you have the best option, you have the best chance of succeeding at this. Because really, to succeed at anything, you have to have a massive passion for it, to keep going every day, to keep coming back to it and keep doing it. And the other one is, what would you keep doing in your life even if you wouldn't get paid for it? So it's a little bit similar to the last one, and I think it's self-explanatory. And so these again are the methods that I would use to sort of get to the answer logically. Now I want to move on and tell you the technique that I've kind of discovered it by accident, that I've been practicing. And sorry, I think there's like a hair somewhere that's itching me. I think I've discovered it by accident, and I think it really helped me tune into that inner voice of guidance unknowingly. So and maybe it's already out there. To be honest, I haven't checked, but the technique involves going for a walk anywhere you want, preferably in nature where you have many paths, and preferably where the path sort of, you get to like a little crossroad, and then you need to choose which path to take afterwards. It can be a place that you know, it doesn't have to be. It can be a place that you don't know. Maybe that's actually even better. If you don't know the place, it's even better. But really, it just really needs to sorry, my cat is so cute. It needs to have multiple paths that you need to take that place wherever you go. The idea is when you're going for a walk and you get to a split in paths, maybe you normally walk a certain route, but what I want you to do on your next walk, if you want to, is pause for a moment and ask yourself, which path do I want to take? As simple as that. Which path am I taking now? And look at the two paths and look at where they're leading. And not logically, so don't think, well, if I'm going to go this way, I'm going to end up there, and that's where, like, don't sort of try and logically analyze why you should take this path and not this path. Just ask this question, which path should I take? And just quieten the mind and just feel. What will your body say? Maybe you will literally, sometimes the body literally kind of like moves slightly. Maybe you shift on one leg more than the other, and it kind of like moves you in the direction of the path that it prefers. Another way it can be a voice in your mind that says there or there. It can be like a feeling inside or a knowing, like you will look at one path and you will feel like it magnetizes you to it, like it drawing you in, and you won't feel the same from the other path. If you're doing this for the first time, you may feel nothing and you may hear nothing, and it will just feel quite frustrating because it's like, well, what am I doing here? You know, it can feel very much like that. If you just pause at every single split in the road and you ask yourself this question and you just notice this, just pay attention. Maybe the first walk it won't happen, maybe the second walk it won't happen, but at some point, if you just keep practicing, you will start feeling something. Different people feel it differently. Some people, as I said, they hear it as a voice. Some people's body moves in the direction that the body wants to go into. And some people, like me, I have this like feeling inside, like a sensation, like a draw in onto the path. And you can even like help yourself a little bit by sort of like moving a little bit into the direction of one path and then the other. And you will notice if there is like a slight nudge into one or the other more so. One more so than the other. And that's the path that you need to take. The reason why this exercise is incredibly good is because obviously this activity is not significant in any way. Like, you're not making a life-changing decision, which path should I take on my walk? It's not life-changing, and so it's not serious. And so it is much easier to train your brain to just be quiet while your body, your inner guidance, is guiding you. Because what we're accustomed to do is let the logical brain take over and give us a decision. And what this technique trains you to do is to turn that part of your brain off for a moment and follow the inner guidance. And again, if your logical brain is very strong, and the signs and symptoms of that is you have anxiety, you have ADD, you have insomnia, similar things basically, you kind of get the gist. If you're an overworker, that means all these things mean that you have a very strong logical mind that doesn't rest, or rather you don't let it rest. I will talk about this in another video actually. If you're that kind of person, it will be very difficult for you at first, perhaps, maybe not, maybe you will just click straight away, and that's amazing. Then you can learn how to distinguish the sound of your brain and the sound of your inner guidance. And so by doing this simple activity that is very insignificant and something that you can just implement as you're going on walks, you will learn how to listen to this inner voice, and then you can use it in much bigger decisions in life. Let's say you are looking for a job and you are, on the search engine, and you see something and your logical brain thinks this would be a good job to apply to, but your inner guidance says, nah, don't apply for it. Then don't apply for it. Like, I honestly, the reason I'm saying this is because I've tuned in pretty well into my inner guidance now, because I was going on these walks, and as I said, unconsciously and unintentionally, I've been practicing this technique, and so I could hear my inner voice more and more and more. And I'm actually I'm noticing that I'm doing things in life, and my inner guidance just turns on sometimes when I'm about to make even the smallest decisions, and it tells me to do the opposite of what I'm about to do. And sometimes I listen to it and life just flows and everything just works out perfectly, like serendipity, like things just happen so easily and perfectly. And then there is the other side of things, whereby I'm about to make a decision from the logical mind. My inner guidance says, no, do this other thing. I go against my inner guidance. I do what my logical brain, tells me to do, and then things just don't work out as well. And in the end, I realize, well, my inner guidance was bloody right, and I should have done this thing that I felt I should have done, even though logically everything was telling me, no, you should do this thing. And yeah, I've learned the hard way that, and I'm still learning, because my logical brain is still very strong, and sometimes they collide. My inner guidance isn't on the same level as my logical mind. And so it's still a practice. It's an everyday practice to learn to choose the inner guidance, because it wants the best for you. And so does your logical mind. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't want something bad to happen to you. But the logical mind sometimes is overprotective of us. It is sometimes too overprotective. And sometimes it is too harsh on us as well, for different reasons. But the inner guidance is the guidance that will lead us to the path of least resistance in life, whereby we can just enjoy things and things just flow. And if we just learn to trust it, and we learn to trust that it wants the best for us, even if it disagrees with the logical mind, our life can be so much better. And the learning to trust it as well will improve our trust towards other people in the world and the world in general. And so I highly recommend this practice. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And so if you listen to this guidance, it will also help you understand yourself better, and what it is that you want in your life, and what decisions you want to make in life, and what kind of life you want to lead. So I hope you are going to try this exercise. If you do, please let me know how it went for you. I'm really excited to hear about your experience of this. Sorry, I've just realized how tired I probably look. I'm sorry if I do, but I just really wanted to get this video out, because I think this is such valuable information, and I really want people to implement this in their lives. So I hope you do. And I will see you in the next one.